Ann Coulter writes in her new book about you. She says that Newt Gingrich, you are ripping off the Republican Party for your own self-aggrandizement. She lumps you with Liz Cheney, Todd Akin, and Mark Sanford as enemies of the GOP. How do you react?
Well, that's kind of weird. I helped lead us to the first Republican majority in the House in 40 years. I helped develop with Bill Clinton the only four balanced budgets in her lifetime. We helped pass welfare reform. I would have thought all those would have counted against the number of books she sold. But, you know, people got to go out and say something to sell books, and she's found her shtick, and it's attacking conservatives and being sort of the odd person out. So, you know, life's like that. I don't worry about it much.
All right, there you go. Newt Gingrich responding. Remember when Larry King asked Yasser Arafat, "Hey, Yasser, what about the hat? What's with the hat?" Anyway, welcoming in now Ann Coulter, best-selling author, of course, and her new book, Never Trust a Liberal Over Three, especially a Republican. Hello, Ann Coulter.
Hello, Steve Maltzberg. That's quite an intro.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Good to talk to you.
By the way, I listened to you, and you're really terrific.
Thank you.
But for the clip you just played,
yeah.
I would not say, I wasn't you, it was someone else reading, or not reading it. Reading it would be more accurate. I don't think that is an accurate description of what I say about Newt Gingrich. I fully credit him for some of the great things he's done. It is specifically his running for president. And I was right. He's doing it to get a TV show. He got himself a TV show. My point is there are a lot of people in very different categories. The simple paradigm of Rhino versus like Tea Party doesn't really work. You have political consultants. You have people who are running for president to, you know, get increased speaking fees or to get a TV show or a radio show. The point is it's not helping the Republican Party to have these endlessly long primaries, endlessly long debates with people who are never going to be the nominee. And we have to face it. It's never going to be a member of Congress. It's never going to be an inspirational leader. It's never going to be a businessman. And I've made this mistake myself. And at various times I've been for, Herman Cain, Steve Forbes, various others who weren't, Duncan Hunter, who weren't going to be the nominee. I've learned my lesson, and we really need to send in a strong candidate to beat Hillary or Joe Biden or whomever it is. So,
right, well, okay, fair enough. So Larry King misrepresented what he said to Newt.
Oh, was that Larry King?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
I don't
funny.
even know what it was on. It had Crossfire in the background, which means I guess it was Newt's background, but I don't even know what show Larry King does, to be honest with you. I was hoping for a rerun, like I said, of the Yasser Arafat interview with the hat question. It's like asking Hitler, what about the mustache? Hey, Hitler, what about the mustache? Anyway, all right, so wait a minute. So who – now, I heard you – I mean, you used to tout Chris Christie, but you don't like him anymore.
No, his directing his Senate appointee to vote for amnesty was it for me. I mean, that is not – I joke about being a single-issue voter against amnesty, but as I've said, to clarify that, the only joke in that statement is it's not a single issue. It's every issue. Amnesty means Democrats get another 30 million votes. Presidential elections are usually decided by 3 or 4 million votes. And a lot you could defend Christie on because he is bright and charismatic, and he is a popular governor of a big blue state. But that isn't just one more vote. That shows, no, you're throwing your lot in with the Republican plutocrats, with Wall Street, against the American people, and against the Republican Party.
Here's another one. I live in Jersey, and he just recently at the debate did an about-face, although he claims that he used to be against discounted tuition for illegals or children of illegals in New Jersey.
Yeah.
He said it at the Reagan Library. He was questioned about that, and now all of a sudden he's for it. And he says, I was never against it. Now New Jersey basically has so much revenue coming in, he says, that we could afford it. Now, I live in New Jersey, and if this guy wants, if we got so much revenue, cut my property taxes. He is out of control. He really is.
No, it's really disappointing, but frankly, I think I was the last right-winger defending him.
I know you were.
Now that he's lost me, I don't think he has. I mean, he'll win re-election, and great. You know, New Jersey is a very liberal state. He may be the best New Jersey can do, but I don't think he has. We'll see. Don't think he has. He'll definitely have Wall Street behind him. Don't think he'll have much of a chance. I have a chapter in my book on immigration.
Right, I know.
There is nothing. There's no issue I've ever seen where the elites on one side and the American people on the other side. Remember when, this is how I start that chapter, when Hillary was caught flat-footed. Elliot Spitzer wanted to give driver's licenses
Right.
to illegals. And so I go through the whole hoo-ha on that. Hillary, in the debate, she's in a debate with Obama and Biden, and she comes out on both sides of Spitzer on the driver's licenses for illegals. After the debate, she issues a clarification, which she refused to give during the debate, saying, I am for driver's licenses for illegals. 2 weeks later, something like 90% of New Yorkers polled were against it. All elected Democrats in New York were coming out against it. So 2 weeks, she flipped again. Guess who the first public official, or one of the first public officials to promote driver's licenses for illegals was? Jeb Bush. And that was after 4 of the pilots on 9/11 had used fake Florida.
Well, could you explain to me, and we're talking to Ann Coulter, her new bestseller is Never Trust a Liberal Over 3, especially a Republican. Why are there so many? And I assume that's kind of a way of saying rhino. But so why are there so many in the Republican Party? In the Senate, in the House, we're hearing about Paul Ryan, room deals. What don't they understand that, A, people in this country don't have a job right now? And when you bring in high tech and low tech, that means fewer jobs will be available. And B, as you alluded to, 30 million people and 95% to 100 are going to vote a Democrat the rest of their lives. So what is it about that they don't understand?
I think it's cowardice all around. It's hard to be a conservative in America, especially if you don't like being attacked, which luckily you and I don't mind. But a lot of people don't like that. And you better not have any skeletons in the closet if you're going to be a right-winger. Though I must say, I think I'm seeing some of the same thing, which is why I'm so against primarying our own guys, not until we have a majority in the Senate. And I will make one small exception in the upcoming elections for Lindsey Graham if we have a good candidate to run against him. But by and large, we should not be wasting our time pointing our guns inward, whether we're pointing them at rhinos or we're pointing them at Tea Partiers, and we see both sides doing that. First, let's get a majority. Then we can work on purifying the party, because right now we have important Senate elections coming up where Republicans can flip a Democrat seat to a Republican seat. Mary Landrieu in Louisiana, Mark Pryor in Arkansas, Jay Rockefeller is resigning in West Virginia. Mark Begich in Alaska. These are all conservative states. They are heavily trending red. We should be able to pick up seats there, and I want Republicans, conservatives, Tea Partiers, dedicating their time, money, and energy to winning Republican seats in the Senate. Think how differently this shutdown would have looked if we had a majority.
Absolutely. But so let me ask you something you started with, and I didn't want to ask you right away, but who, in your view, Ann Coulter, are or is the Republican or are the Republicans that you would like to see in the primary, limited, as you alluded to, that we should be able to, or that we should have a choice between?
Well, I think we have a lot of great Republicans. I don't have a number one favorite right now. I want to see them in the debates. My main.
But how many? See, that's the problem. They'll all be in the debates, and then you were back to where you said you don't want us to be. Yeah.
No, I have a way of limiting it. My main point right now is please do not consider anyone other than a governor, a Republican governor or senator from a state that's at least in the top 50 in terms of population. Another mistake I made, I supported
the top 50.
Sorry, the top. I'm thinking of the Senate.
What are you, Barack Obama? All 57 states? Come on.
I'm fixated on the Senate elections next year, so I'm thinking 100. We have to be
right.
In the top 50% population-wise. I supported Pete DuPont, but that's the equivalent of support for president back a million years ago. I was in college.
You might as well support Pat Paulson.
No, he's great. He was articulate. He was fantastic. But it's the equivalent of supporting a member of Congress. We need someone who has been elected statewide in a relatively large state. And
all right, so give me a couple of names. Give me 4 names, 3 names
of the governors
of who you would like to see, senators, governors, whoever.
I know. I'm listing them. I'm starting with the governors.
Okay.
Governors: Rick Snyder of Michigan, Rick Scott of Florida. Possibly Scott Walker of Wisconsin. Of the senators, obviously Ted Cruz, Mike Lee. I throw in Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. I'm probably forgetting a few of them, but those are
Rand Paul?
No.
Okay, let me ask you, we only got a couple of minutes left.
Very short, and I'm sorry we have to think about that.
Oh, stop it. All right, here's one more question for you. Cory Booker is your favorite Democrat?
It's funny. He's going to be overtaken now that he's in the Senate. He won't last. But by all accounts, and much more has come out about him since he ran for Senate. But I wrote about this in the last chapter of my last book, Mugged, and he was taking, by all accounts in the press, and that's all I have to go through, I'm not living in Newark, he was taking a Rudy Giuliani approach to crime. He talks tough on crime. He talks tough on school choice. But, you know, as happens with a lot of Democrats, they're good when they're mayors, or better when they're sometimes mayors and senators, and they actually have to run something well.
Right.
They get, or governors, they get to the U.S. Senate, and suddenly they're jumping when Chuck Schumer says jump.
You wouldn't like want to make a proposal to him over the air or anything, would you?
To whom?
To Cory Booker. I'm trying
Cory
to make news.
Booker?
Yeah, you know, you said favorite Democrat. I don't.
That's not saying much. My second favorite is Alvin Green.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, yeah, at least you cleared it up because you know he makes up. Apparently, they're not even sure he lived in Newark or in New Jersey.
No, I saw
yeah,
that.
all that. Yeah, Lonigan did a good job. Yeah,
so great. That's something else I think we should be a little testy with Christie about. If Christie had kept the election when he's going to be elected by 30 points, Lonigan would have won.
Absolutely. Now let me ask you're going to be at David Horowitz's weekend?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'll see you.
I'm doing tomorrow.
Hurry up, quick. What?
I'm doing The View tomorrow.
Oh, good. All right, watch Ann on The View. I'll see you down in Florida for that. Maybe we could do an interview.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, take
Good
care.
to
Ann
talk to
Coulter,
you.
ladies and gentlemen. The book, Never Trust a Liberal Over 3, especially a Republican. Steve Malzberg Show.